All right, Lions family, today I'm bringing a story that feels like the moment when a season tilts. This is about edge pressure, January football, and a front office that refuses to let windows close. I'm going to walk you through the cap math, the draft pick calculus, the locker room fit, and the on-field ripple effects that would change how offensive coordinators sleep before they face Detroit. No spoilers up top, ride with me, because when we hit the end of this breakdown, the full picture will make sense, and the name at the center of it will hit like a THUNDERCLAP. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. If you live and breathe this team like I do, stick around. Every detail tonight matters. I'm laying out the scenario step by step, from why the front office is even in this conversation to how the deal will be structured in a way that protects the future while supercharging the now. If you're new here, you're in the right place. This is where we talk like insiders, but keep it straight for the whole fan base. Let's start with identity. Detroit's defense is built on relentlessness, 4 quarters of speed to the ball, violent hands, and edges that refuse to die on a rep. That's our culture. But there's a reason great teams still search for one more pitch, something that forces opponents to rewrite their protections on a short week. The math is simple. When you add a true closer on the edge, your coverage gets better without changing personnel. Your third down packages become unpredictable, and your best players get cleaner pass to the quarterback. It's not just sacks. It's how you change decision time from 2.6 seconds to 2.2 and flip field position all night. Now, here's why timing is everything. We're approaching the part of the calendar where desperate teams sell, disciplined teams buy, and the smartest teams know how to do a little of both. The rumor mill is loud right now, and it's not noise, it's signal. The market for pass rush is heating because coordinators are looking ahead to cold weather games where getting off the field on 3rd and 7 decides seeding. Detroit is positioned to act, but only if the target moves the needle on day one and doesn't compromise 2026 or 2027. That's the balance Brad Holmes plays better than most. Aggressive, but not reckless. Bold, but never blind. Zoom out to the landscape. In the division, everyone wants to slow our run game and keep our defense on the field. The chess match is obvious. If we steal possessions with pressure, opponents can't bleed us with 12-play drives. That's why the right addition isn't just another rotational body. It's a closer who lives in third down backfields, forces hot throws, and punishes QBs who pat the ball. When that player lines up opposite Aiden Hutchinson, offensive lines lose the luxury of sliding help and living to see 2nd and 5. They have to choose. And when they choose wrong, games break. Let me talk fit before I talk name. In Aaron Glenn's structure, we can walk up 5, show simulated pressure from the second level, and still drop to mid-zone while running a twist on the strong side. The ideal partner for Hutch is a technician with a cross chop that actually lands, a speed to power that dents the pocket, and a motor that holds up for 55 snaps in cold weather. He doesn't need babysitting on the edge. He sets an edge on early downs and hunts relentlessly late. That's the profile. That's the guy who forces coordinators to bring the tight end into protection, which means fewer weapons out in routes, which means our safeties get to drive on throws instead of playing catch-up. Money matters. If Detroit makes a move, it's because the structure can be handled without burning tomorrow's flexibility. The smart play is to absorb the current year number with room for in-season elevations, then use a light restructure in March to smooth the cap across voidable seasons if needed. That's not mortgaging the future. It's how contenders operate when they know the piece. Their buying directly changes playoff odds. Draft picks are valuable. So is a postseason pass rush that travel-proofs your defense. Let's address the elephant in the room: availability and trajectory. When you chase a premier edge, you're buying history and habits, not just a hot September. You want a player whose production isn't a blip, someone who stacks double-digit sacks year over year, creates fumbles, and wins late in games when all the tape is out and everyone knows what's coming. If the medicals check, you move. If they don't, you pivot. Simple as that. Detroit will do the diligence, and if the green lights are there, the rest is just negotiating leverage. Now to the situation that's creating this window. There's a franchise out there juggling big money choices on both sides of the ball. The pass rusher we're talking about has already lived through contract tension, pushed for clarity, and despite elite production, found himself smack in the middle of deadline chatter. Layer on a tough start to their season and a recent health scare that turned the camera on him in a bad moment, and you get the kind of uncertainty that invites aggressive calls from contending teams. When a club smells wobble, the phones ring. And when our phone rings back, you better believe we're ready with terms. Trade framework, if you're asking me. Something disciplined, a 2026 second-round pick as the spine of the deal, plus a conditional 2027 fourth that escalates with playoff performance or snap rate. No overpay, no panic. The selling team gets value they can sell to their locker room. We get the closer we need without touching the premium assets that define our draft blueprint. On the contract, the clean approach is to ride the current number for the stretch run, keep the March options open, and only talk ad years if the fit proves as perfect on grass as it looks on tape. Respect the player, protect the cap, keep the trophy window open. That's the formula. Schematically, picture this: Hutch in a 2-point on the weak side. Our guy attached to the tight end on the strong side, nickel walked up. Linebacker mugging the gap. We can run text games with Hutch crashing, our guy looping into daylight. We can also flip it wide 9 with a long arm stab from the field, safety buzz to take away the hot slant, and a robber sitting under the glance route. What changes is not just pressure rate. It's how fast quarterbacks feel ghosts. And when quarterbacks feel ghosts, they throw us the ball. There's also the human part. Dan Campbell doesn't bring in mercenaries. He brings in tone setters. The player we're circling is a worker, high motor, violent hands, and just enough nastiness to make tackles hate Tuesdays. That fits. In this building, you earn the right to rush on third down, and this guy has earned that right in multiple systems. He shows up, he hunts, he finishes. That's Detroit football. I know you want the name. You've connected the dots already: the production history, the contract noise, the deadline window, the schematic glue. So here's the moment. The move that would make the rest of the NFC North rethink their protections. That would turn our pass rush into a two-headed hammer. That would tell the conference we're not waiting for anything. It's Trey Hendrickson. And what I'm hearing tonight is simple: the Lions have a path mapped. The conversations around league circles are real, and if the selling team opens the door, Detroit is prepared to step through it with a controlled, professional offer that reflects exactly how close this roster is. Yes. There's a medical box to tick after that recent back scare. There always is with deadline targets, and the medical rechecks will be thorough. But the resume is undeniable. Year-over-year sack production at the top of the league. A portfolio of moves that age well, and the kind of closing burst that shows up even when everybody knows it's past. That's what makes the risk acceptable and the reward massive. You don't chase perfect. You chase difference makers who fit your room and your scheme. Imagine January with Hutchinson and Hendrickson alternating who gets the one-on-one. Imagine our third down calls when we can threaten 5, drop 2, and still win the edge. Imagine the coverage looks when quarterbacks cut routes short because they feel heat that isn't even there yet. This is how you change playoff math. This is how you bottle momentum and pour it on teams that want to play keep away. Before I close, I want your take. Drop it in the comments. If the price is a 26-second and a conditional 27 fourth, are you in? Do you prioritize the stretch run closer now? Or do you keep every pick and trust internal development to carry the rush through December? Tell me how you'd structure the money and who you'd rotate on early downs. I'm reading everything because this community doesn't miss a detail. Here's my concise read. Strategically, the move is sound if the medical's clear. The cap can be managed without strangling future flexibility. The draft cost is assertive, but not reckless, and the on-field fit is plug-and-play in Aaron Glenn's packages. Hendrickson opposite Hutchinson shortens games, steals third downs, and gives Detroit a true postseason pitch that travels. If the door opens, I say walk through it deliberately, professionally, and with the confidence of a contender. I appreciate every single one of you for riding with me. If you want more breakdowns like this fast updates when the phones light up, deep dives on structure and scheme, and honest reads from a fan who lives this every day, hit subscribe. Tap the like and keep your notifications on. This is Lions News Fan Report, and we're just getting started.